Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. Thanks for joining my video, and thanks to anybody listening to me read Black Like Me. I just posted another one, number 2. I only read pages 16 through 23. I don't think I did a very good job. It's like 11:30 at night on Sunday night, and I've had the busiest week in the weekend. But I wanted to get it up. I will be better. I mean, I'm going to make an effort to read these things better, but I definitely wanted to come back on after this because the reason I'm reading that book is we are not going through a culture war. What we are doing is these oligarchs, it's the reason that Elon Musk gave the Sieg Heil salute, and the reason that Joe Rogan and all these people are defending it, and all the people on CNN saying, oh, it was a Roman salute, that's bullshit. It was a Sieg Heil salute because they are white supremacists, and they believe in their way of thinking. They think white men need to be in charge no matter how dumb, no matter how uneducated, how unqualified, that they are superior than anybody else. And they are committed to that idea. Elon Musk was excited. He was happy, finally. So we have got to speak out against it. And the reason I'm reading this book is it is going to bring it home, the depth of depravity of white supremacy. Because white supremacy is a plague on this nation and a plague on the world. And the reason we're having this fight is because the white supremacists know that they're going, that we have had it, we're done. That's why they infiltrated the government. But a lot of what Trump is doing right now, it's illegal and it is corrupt. And I believe it's going to get knocked down in the courts. But guess what? In the meantime, excuse me, you guys. In the meantime, what happens? In the meantime, he's going to lay somebody off. The Inspector General of the Department of Defense was laid off. Now, it's probably illegal. The guy's going to go on unemployment. They're going to fight it. While they're litigating it, the whole system is going to close down. Do you know what the Inspector General of the Department of Defense does? Now, imagine. They do follow-up corruption, and they follow the money, and they make sure money's getting spent where it's supposed to be spent. And they basically are the first line of defense for a lot of spying and a lot of corrupt things that are about to happen. And so that is not a small thing to get rid of. And who did the Republicans in their lockstep click their heels and say Sieg Heil? Pete Hegseth, who is known to be an active alcoholic, known to be publicly drunk, known to cheat on his wives, known to be a domestic abuser, and has had no long-term military experience whatsoever, and no experience in government ever. That is the man that the Republicans in the Senate, most of them have been there over a decade, a long time. John Thune, who runs the Senate, has been there for as long as I can remember, when I started getting actively engaged in 2001. He's been there since then. And now he's running the Senate. And he got his people to vote for Pete Hegseth. John Thune, who used to be a respected Republican, who I thought was at least a reasonable, I knew he was super conservative, anti-choice, super pro-Israel, to me, things that I think are too extreme. I mean, I support Israel, but I do not support sending Israel bombs while they're murdering children and bombing the daylights out of every one of their neighbors. They're playing whack-a-mole. Yeah, they did cease fire in Gaza, but guess what? They're attacking everybody else. This is dangerous for our country. For Pete Hegseth to be running our DOD, and we have no Inspector General of the Department of Defense. We could lose weapons. Weapons could get illegally sold and we wouldn't even freaking know about it. And John Thune and the rest of the Republicans think this is a good idea. I call this un-American activity. These guys, are they out of their minds? Do they think that their families are going to be safe? Do they think their children are going to be safe from our enemies who are just giggling and giddy over the idiocracy that has infiltrated our government? And the absolute idiocracy Joe Rogan trying to justify. Joe Rogan has a responsibility to his 30 million listeners, a lot of them young men. He has a grave responsibility for him to be like pretending and sane-washing this and ignoring white supremacy. He could be a leader among men instead of a destroyer of young men. He has sadly sold out for money. The $100 million that they paid to Joe Rogan bought his complicity, but guess what? It destroyed his soul. It is ridiculous that we are selling out to white supremacy in this nation when we have a chance to help save our planet and to help save our democracy. I am seriously, I don't know if I brought this up earlier. How long have I been talking? 6 minutes? Probably not, because I've tried to do this video a few times. One of my viewers made a comment about Trump. They're going to take Trump out. God's going to take Trump out. He's already taken Trump out. He's got prefrontal dementia. That's why he leans forward. That's why he blabbers on incomprehensible shit. They're just weekend with Bernieing him. They're pumping him up with drugs to make him be able to be public facing. That's ridiculous. That whole thing was fake. He faked his own assassination attempt. They didn't expect somebody to get killed. They expected somebody to get injured, not dead. I think they were shocked, but don't tell me that was real, that the Secret Service would allow him to get up and do a fist pump. No way. They would have put him in that car and driven him off like that if it had been real. But they all knew it was coming. He knew it was coming. He has a way of telling. He looked at there and he was like, so there. He made this hand gesture about exactly where the kid was. Donald Trump is just the weirdest psychopath in the world. He loves to tell people what he's doing. And you know how he tells people? He makes weird things. He says other people every time. The man is a complete traitor, and Americans need to stand up. Even if you have a Republican senator, a Republican congressman, call them and tell them that you object to them giving this. They are loyal to the Constitution of the United States, not Trump and not MAGA, not the MAGA agenda. That is not what they swore their oath of their Constitution to. And we are in urgent crisis now because Trump and what's this guy, Stephen Miller, Goebbels 2.0, we literally are watching the Nazi regime just take a wrecking ball to our country. This stupid game, they couldn't even spell the word Colombia correctly. Do you know why the Colombians turned back those 2 planes? Because they brought their people back in shackles. They said, we're not taking people like prisoners. Bring them back. We'll send our presidential plane to pick up our people. That's what they did. It's bullshit. The fucking propaganda is unbelievable with inside of America. You can't even get the truth. You literally have to dig for it. And here I am on my little video talking to you about it. People are gonna go, well, give us the links. Find your own fucking links. The news is there. It's really there. It's not hard to find. This is all government stuff. You can read the government website. Maybe I'll find the links tomorrow. But the other part of that is I just don't have time. If I was not working full time, not completely busy. Maybe I could do all that stuff. What I really want to do is motivate people to call their representatives. Call your state senators, call your federal senators. Find out who your House of Representative is and call that person and say, I object to this whole Trump wrecking ball. I call him President Felon. That's the name I like to call him, because that's what he is. He's a felon. Anyways, I hope you guys will, if one or two people at least call their congressmen and their senators. You can look it up on, I actually haven't printed it out, and I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to like make it difficult to get this information now that we've got the whole Nazis embedded in our government. So I'll let you know the next time I talk to you, which is probably going to be tomorrow. I'm going to come back and read another couple of pages on this. This is the book I want everybody to buy and to read. Black Like Me, John Howard Griffin. Super important book for Americans to read to understand the plague of white supremacy in our country and how we have to end it, because we are a nation of a bunch of different people, and it's time for us to become united and stay united and end the plague of white supremacy. So put your feet on, guys. Call your representatives. Tell them to stop acting so un-American. They swore an oath to our Constitution, not Donald Trump. Ciao.